Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Safety Trainers. Today, we are going to discuss one of the most important element of permit to work system, cold work permit. When we hear the word cold work, we might think the activity is low risk because there is no flame, welding, or hard surface involved. But that is a dangerous assumption. Cold work does not mean risk-free work. A cold work activity can still expose worker to hydrocarbon, toxic gases, pressure, chemical, store energy, electrical hazard, confined spaces, working at height, and many other hazards. So in this video, we will understand what a cold work permit is and goes through the important information that should be included in the permit. And remember our basic safety principle, no permit, no work. Let us understand what are the activity comes under cold work permit. These are the activity which does not have the ability to produce heat energy, such as spark or flame. Example for such activity, scaffolding erection, inspection, maintenance activity such as filter replacement, exchanger cleaning. Let us see briefly the content in the cold work permit. The first one is permit number. Every permit should have a unique identification number. This number allows the permit to be tracked and referred throughout the work process. If someone asks which permit authorizes the job, the permit number is the answer. The second important item is work location. The work location should be specific and clearly identified. It may include the plant area, unit, equipment location, or other identifying information. For example, instead of writing process area, the permit should identify the specific area or equipment involved according to the site permit requirement. Why it is important? Because permit is valid for one specific location and scope. Because risk assessment and control measures can vary based upon the work location. The third one is description of work. The permit should clearly describe what work is going to be performed. Everyone involved should understand the scope. For example, removal and replacement of mechanical seal on pump XYZ. A vague description such as mechanical work may not provide enough information to identify all the hazard and control. The scope of work should be clear enough for the permit issuer, execution party, and the area operator. Worker has to understand what work has been authorized. The next important one is equipment or tag number. Oil and gas facility contain hundreds or thousands of equipment such as pump, vessel, compressor, pipeline, valves, tanks, and other equipment. The correct equipment must be identified before starting the job. This is extremely important because working on the wrong equipment can have a catastrophic consequences. Correct identification is the first step towards correct isolation. The next one is contractor or company. In the permit, it has to mention the contracting company name. This helps establishing the responsibility and ensure that the correct work group is authorized to perform the job. The supervisor and workers should understand the permit requirement and their responsibility. Now let us talk about permit validity. Every permit should have a defined start and end according to the site PTW requirement. When the permit expires, the work must not simply continue automatically. The permit must be renewed, revalidated, or extended according to the approved procedure. The job performing parties always has to ensure the permit is valid before starting the job. The seventh one is hazard identification. The permit must identify the hazard associated with the activity. Depending upon the type of activity and location, hazard may include presence of hydrocarbon, H2S, or flammable atmosphere, chemical, pressure, mechanical energy, stored energy, confined space. The purpose here is not simply write down the hazard in the paper, it is to make sure the hazards are recognized and controlled before the work begins. The eighth one is required control measures. After identifying the hazard, we need to establish control measures. For example, if there is a potential for toxic gas exposure, there should be a proper gas detection, monitoring, respiratory protection where required. Emergency arrangement and other control measures may be necessary according to the risk assessment and site procedure. If there is a stored energy, it must be controlled through appropriate isolation procedure. Remember, identifying a hazard without controlling it does not make the job safe. The ninth one is isolation requirement. Before beginning any maintenance activity, the related activity, energy source need to be isolated. This may include mechanical isolation, electrical isolation, process isolation, hydraulic isolation, pneumatic isolation, or pressure isolation. The exact isolation method must follow the company approved isolation and LOTO procedure. Workers should never assume that equipment is safe simply because it has been switched off. Zero energy must be verified according to the applicable procedure. The tenth one is gas testing. Depending upon the location and job, atmospheric gas testing may include oxygen concentration, flammable gas, H2S, and other toxic gases, which are identified by proper risk assessment. The required test frequency and acceptable limit must follow the site approved procedure. A gas testing is a snapshot of atmospheric condition at a present time. Condition can change, therefore continuous or periodic monitoring may be required depending upon the risk. If the gas detector alarm, stop the job, move to the safe location and follow the site emergency procedure. The 11th one is PPE, personal protective equipment. It should be selected based upon the hazard and the site requirement. PPE is the last line of defense. We should not depend upon PPE only. First, we should eliminate or control the hazard wherever reasonably practicable. The 12th one is barricade and access control. Barricade and warning sign help to prevent unauthorized people to enter. For example, if you are doing a lifting activity by crane, you have to barricade from ground level to 7th floor. That is, you have to barricade the drop zone in the first floor, second floor, and third floor likewise. The 13th one is SIMOPS. It means different activities are taking place at the same area at the same time, which may interact with each other. For example, one team is doing hot work activity and other team is doing hydrocarbon transfer. Even though each activity has a permit and risk assessment, it does not mean it is safe. It is about controlling the interaction between the jobs. The 14th one is emergency arrangement. Every worker should know where is the emergency exit, where is the muster point, how to raise the alarm, where is the escape route, and what emergency equipment is available. And what should I do in case of emergency like gas leak or fire or chemical release. Always know your emergency arrangement before starting the job. The 15th point is authorized person and signature. The permit should identify the appropriate authorized person. Depending upon the site PTW system, this may include permit issuer, permit receiver, area authority, and gas tester. Remember, the signature is not just a formality. The person signing should know what I am signing for. The 16th one is permit acceptance. The working party must understand and accept the permit condition. The supervisor or the performing party should communicate the work scope, hazard, control, and precaution to the workers. If someone does not understand the job scope, the work should not be started until clarified and understood. The 17th one is extension and suspension. If a job may take longer than expected, in that situation, the permit should not simply be allowed to continue beyond its validity period. Any extension or revalidation must follow the company PTW procedure. For example, if there is an emergency occurred or plant condition change or gas reading become unacceptable, the work need to be stopped. When the condition change, we must reassess before starting the activity. The 18th one and the final one, we have permit closure. When the work is completed or safely stopped, the permit must be properly closed according to the site procedure. The responsible person should confirm that work is completed, site is left in safe condition, and tools and materials are removed. Before closing the permit, area operator has to ensure that everything is in safe condition. Remember one thing, no permit, no work. And even when you have a permit, always remember a permit is not a guarantee of safety. It is a system for controlling the condition under which work is authorized. If the condition change, the hazard change, or the controls are no longer effective, stop the job. Move to a safe location, inform the responsible person, reassess the job before starting. Your safety is more important than completing the job on time. Thank you for watching Safety Trainers. If you found this video useful, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more practical safety training. Stay safe and work safe.